Well, hello again out there, YouTube. Welcome back for another talking video, and yeah, welcome back to outside. It is just warm enough to where I can be sitting out here, and it is trying to become warmer, and yeah, I will be out here to make some more talking videos, and well, after more people show up in Lakeside in early May, maybe I'll move out back to my back deck and record some videos out there too. But yeah, it's still quiet enough for now around here, and so I'll be talking out here today. And well, yeah, this is a subject that has been in the list of ideas for a while, and this is on the subject of language and the words that we choose. And yeah, for all of us who speak, well, maybe some of us are quieter than others, and some of us are more vocal. But yeah, for all of us who speak, yeah, there are certain words that are appropriate and certain jokes that are appropriate. And then there are other words that are not appropriate and jokes that are not appropriate. And well, if you've lived long enough, then yeah, maybe you've noticed how there are some adults who do talk with inappropriate jokes and they use cuss words without caring about it. And then you see other adults who are trying to keep their jokes appropriate and keep their language appropriate. And maybe you are wondering, what would I have to say on what I recommend about language, and what does the Bible say about it? And well, if you are thinking to yourself that I would say to please avoid the cuss words and use clean language and keep the jokes appropriate, then yes, you would be correct. Yeah, I would very much encourage everyone out there to avoid saying words that you may know, like the A word, the B word, the D word, the F word, the S word. Yeah, that's one set of cuss words, as I call it, for this video, and I would very much highly recommend that you can choose cleaner words to say. Things like, oh, darn, or oh, man, or oh, shoot. And I have said oh, shoot a lot when I throw the bowling ball and it ends up not being a good frame. And while you can also make a biblical case for keeping our language clean and keeping our jokes clean, if you look through the book of Ephesians, at the end of chapter 4 and early on in chapter 5, you hear how it says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. And you also hear, nor should there be coarse joking, but rather we want to say things that lift other people up and, yeah, just keep the language clean. Because it is so important, especially for those of us who are around younger people and, children and teenagers. And if you are like me, where you have been a youth leader at church for a while, or you work at the Lakeside Gate, and there are a number of families with children and teens around, then yeah, the younger people are going to observe how we behave and how we speak, and they will pick up on the good stuff and the bad stuff. And, well, you can also say that about parents or those who are raising children. And, well, there is a moment from a movie that reflects how there was a kid who picked up on repeating a cuss word because he heard it from his dad. And, well, the movie that I am referencing here is a movie you may know, and you see it every Christmas. A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story, where Ralphie wants the BB gun for Christmas. And, well, there are actually two moments that I will mention from this movie in this video. And, well, for while I'm talking about the one set of cuss words for now, yeah, there is that moment where the family is out driving and then they have to pull off to the side of the road and change a tire. And when Ralphie and his dad are outside, Ralphie is holding the little bowl to collect the nuts from the tire when the dad is changing the tire, and then the dad's hand accidentally hits the bowl, the nuts go flying everywhere, and Ralphie says, "Oh, fudge." Only he didn't say fudge. He said the word, the big one, the F dash 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 word. And then, the dad and Ralphie get back into the car, and the family finds out about it, and we cut to the scene where Ralphie has a bar of soap in his mouth, and, well, then the mom takes the bar of soap out of Ralphie's mouth, and she does ask him, "Okay, where did you hear that word?" And you can hear the internal thought in Ralphie's mind that says, "No, I had heard that word at least 10 times a day from my old man, his dad." Ralphie had heard the F dash 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 word at least 10 times a day from his dad, and that's where he picked it up from. And that can be very true to real life as well. For parents or those who are raising children, and also youth leaders at church, and people who work at a job where there are children and teenagers around. And yeah, the younger people will pick up on the good stuff and the bad stuff. And yet, if we do our absolute best to say the cleaner words, like "oh darn" or "aw man" or "oh shoot," then that could very well make a positive difference with how the younger people talk. And, well, you out there right now, if you grow up and get married and have children, then it's important to remember that as well with how you talk, and hopefully you can pass that on to the next generation for them to have clean language. And for all those other roles out there too, youth leaders and people who work at a job with children around. And yeah, I just wanted to say that about the one set of cuss words. But then there is also one other set of cuss words, as I will call it. And I feel that this is so important as well, especially for those of us who care about God. And this would be the set of cuss words like OMG and GD. And, well, there is the name of Jesus Christ, but then I'm sure you've heard how when some people get sad or angry or all emotional, they'll say, "Oh, JC." And all of this relates to how there are people who have taken God's name in vain. And we know from the 10 Commandments in the Bible that we are not to take God's name in vain. God does not want us to do that. And again, there are cleaner things to say, like, "Oh my gosh," or "Oh my goodness," or just "Oh my." There are other things to say that are cleaner. And saying those cleaner things would not be dishonoring God's name. And I can still remember it from A Christmas Story. There is that moment earlier in the film where all the kids are outside at school and it's in the winter, and there is that bet, which goes from "I double dog dare you" to "I triple dog dare you," for Flick to stick his tongue to the flagpole and see if it will get stuck. And sure enough, Flick goes through with it, and his tongue gets stuck to the flagpole. And, well, when all the other kids go back inside and the teacher sees that Flick is not there, she turns and looks out the window and says, "OMG." And I can still hear my grandmother, my dad's mom, saying in response to that, "Oh, she should have said, 'Oh my gosh,' instead." And yeah, I would agree. And it was an emotional moment where the teacher was worried about Flick being outside where it's cold and his tongue is stuck to the flagpole. But still, when life happens and we get sad or angry or emotional, then I just hope you can remember to say cleaner things, like "Oh darn," or "Oh man," "Oh shoot," or "Oh my gosh," "Oh my goodness," "Oh my." Because it is important to set that example, the real genuine example, to younger people. And, well, it also will honor God when we refrain from taking his name in vain. And, well, I can tell that in certain settings, like when I've gotten to know some people at the bowling alley, and maybe some of these people are 20 years older than me, and they look at me and say, "Well, you do have a bowling talent, but I never really hear you speaking with any of these cuss words that we're using." I think maybe I've picked it up before, how some people have been trying to influence me to go ahead and say, the D word, the F word, or saying GD or OMG. And, well, I cannot make any biblical case for using those words. When I get emotional or when I have a bad frame in bowling, I cannot make a biblical case for that. I truly believe that there is a way for me as a guy to be the best man possible and be a strong man by, being kind and honest and self-controlled, and by still using clean words. And, well, when I'm at the two different bowling alleys, really, and I'm sure you could hear this in other bowling alleys and at schools and elsewhere. I call it carelessly rolling off the tongue. The people who are just carelessly saying both sets of cuss words that I have mentioned here, and well, I do try to be different and set the real genuine example that I was shown from my parents. And like I've said, I also do care very much about honoring God's name and not taking it in vain. And I would just encourage you out there to be strong in this area and to keep your language clean and choosing the cleaner alternatives that I have mentioned here. You know, like saying, oh darn, oh shoot, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. And that we can be like a couple of celebrities out there who have done a really good job at this. When I think of two celebrities who have done a really good job at keeping their language clean, and specifically with honoring God's name, there is Candace Cameron Bure, who you may know from portraying DJ Tanner on Full House, and she did not ever want to take God's name in vain. And so she came up with the phrase, oh my Lanta. And she has talked about this before in some interviews, and yeah, I mean, good for Candace. Good for Candace in choosing something clean to say instead of OMG. And I can also say the same thing about one other guy who I think you could call him a celebrity at this point. He is very well known. He has 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he can be spotted at any amusement park out there. And, well, this would be Taylor Bybee, the guy who runs Coaster Studios on YouTube. And yeah, Taylor has been all over the world, and he has seen a number of amusement parks. He's a roller coaster enthusiast like me, and well, I've seen it over and over and over consistently in his videos where he is reviewing a park or reviewing a roller coaster, and I've heard him say, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And again, I would say good for him, good for that celebrity. I really commend Taylor Bybee and Candace Cameron Bure for keeping their language clean and for honoring God's name. And I hope that you can do the same. And remember, as I'm closing this video here, that this is something to take with you, the point of this video today. Keeping your language clean. It is something to remember not only in your childhood years, but also remember it in your adult years. And yeah, there may not be as many of us who try to keep our language clean, but it is very important to set that example for the children and also to honor God's name. I hope you can be strong in this area and remember to keep your language clean and to take this with you every day of your life, keeping your language clean. I hope that this has all made sense today, and I do wish you the best with this area of life, and be strong in keeping your language clean. And thank you very much for watching this video today, and I will see you all again for another video really soon. Thank you.